Hi everyone, welcome back to the Little Western Model Railway. I'm James. So, today is the November update, being released on the 2nd of December, 3rd of December, one of those. Anyway, I just want to say a quick thank you to the 70 or so subscribers that I have. I'm very, very happy. 74 subscribers. Just had a look now. So thank you very much to all of those that are interested in the progress that I'm making and the bits that are going on here. Just a quick one to say that we are starting to make some good progress, as you'll see in a few moments. And December's will be probably a little bit shorter as I'm going away, or as in I'm coming home in December. So maybe when I get back in January, there will be some nice goodies to discuss. But anyway, so I want to say thank you for the subscribers here on YouTube, and also for helping me hit 500 followers on Instagram. I didn't think I'd get to 500 before the end of this year, and you guys just came along and really pushed it. I am on other social media as well, so I do have TikTok and Facebook, and I'll leave links to everything down in the description. But I don't really post on TikTok at all. I have it. Maybe I should post more. And everything that gets posted on Instagram gets instantly put on Facebook anyway, so I don't really put any specific content there. So I'm looking forward to 2024. There's a lot of stuff gonna be going on, and enough of me rambling on. Thank you very much for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy this update. Cheers. So here we are down on the desk, and what I wanted to show you was the second turnout for the yard. Now, I've already built two. One is almost fully completed, and that's this one here. So this is the right-hander for siding 3 and 2. And what this one is, is the divide from the middle baseboard into that turnout and into the long first siding. Now let me take you a little bit closer in and show you more of the process. Now I apologise, my camera does not seem to want to zoom in with much detail, but I will try my best. So, using a better pair of tweezers. So, there are many pieces of documentation online. There are several books on how to create fine scale track. There are plenty of forums, the Scale 4 forum, E-Engage Society, Templot forum. There are many ways. But one way that I discovered that works for me is to work from the straightest stock rail, in which case is this one, the rear. Set that in place. I used a steel rule to make sure that that line head was in place. Then I used my triangular gauge to set this side of the V crossing. Once that was done, I then set from this side of the V crossing to this section here, and solidified these three 3D printed chairs. Next, I set up, let me take these off because I'm still in the process of adjusting. Next, I set up the wing chairs, the wing rail and switch rail and blade with the respective chairs. For the straight side, use my triangular gauge to set the position of the knuckle, which it seems I have managed to, there we go, it's almost super glued in. Set the place of the knuckle, and then used a 1.2mm spacer between the wing rail and the crossing V. Now the only thing that's left to do here is to slightly heat from underneath the copper padding so that it connects to the bottom of this rail, and then glue the copper pad to the sleepers. A minor job that I will do in the morning. But if I take my little pony, you can see that even without a check rail, it runs quite smoothly. So now my next task is to add this rail. And when that's done, we will have the second turnout for the yard, and we will be able to wire it up and run trains. So I'll be back when this is done, and I'm about to wire up both of the turnouts. Probably tomorrow morning, considering it's 12:30 AM. But we'll see. Hi guys. So last night I was showing you this turnout in progress, and as you can see, it is pretty much complete. The check rails are in. I just need to snip off the ends, attach power feed and frog wire. So I'll be doing that in a few moments. But what I wanted to show you was how the yard is going to look. So this turnout sits there on this board. It then goes into the long siding, which will be the end place of the Inglenook shunting puzzle that I've sort of created. Just focus in on that a bit more. I'll use a pokey stick. Okay, the camera as well. Next we have the right hand turnout that I created about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that I finished recently. So yesterday I isolated the frog. So this is 100% ready to go. Again, it needs the power feed and frog wire, so I will do that at the same time. And then those two lead into the second and third sidings. Now, so for the rest of this weekend, I'm going to get these wired up and test a locomotive over them, probably the baby pannier, just to make sure it will go across, and also the Bachmann pannier, and maybe the Ruston, do a bit of testing of those as well, cut down the ends so that they can stay there. And then what I will do is I will use the paper and some pins and just pin it in place so that I can pin everything down and do some testing without it actually being stuck down. And then once I'm satisfied that I can get things running smoothly over it, then I will get round to painting the base, which I have started to get ready. I have 2 sets of brown acrylic which I will paint the yard board completely. Then I will drill the holes for turnout control and for feeder wires, and then I can go along and start doing all the droppers. So over the next week or so, I hope to get this powered up. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I will get the 2 turnouts done. So I'll be back when I've done some wiring. So, we're nearing the end of November now. As you saw in the last part, I was putting together the last turnout for the yard, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you how I've changed my desk. Originally I had first monitor, second monitor on this side, and lots of space, basically dedicated this solely to work. Now I'm spending more time in the office. So I've set up my hobby stuff on this side to do testing, servicing, stuff like that. All of my hobby supplies are here, including some other bits that, are completely different that I need to sort. And then the layout. So I'll go from right to left. So I'm playing with the idea of having a country humpback bridge to act as a scenic break, leaving this side of the layout. I will move this board up and secure it, so the same height as this, at the foam, and then as you can see the branch will come smoothly down and disappear off scene, and you still have access to the yard. It allows me to do a little bit of hill here and a little bit on the way opposite side as well. Allows me to model a dirt path, some trees, some bushes, some fencing, general scenic skill in this area here, as well as the coal merchant, and then the hill leaving the coal merchant. So maybe there'll be a small cutting before the coal merchants, and actually the hill will start about here and start to gradually raise up and go round. So yeah, maybe interesting project. A friend of mine just picked up a 3D resin printer and is getting an FDM printer very soon, and he's very keen on developing some stuff with me, and I'm planning on getting something in the future, no spoilers, that will help with both of our respective projects equally. Plastic Cancer UK still on display. So nothing really has happened in the center board. I'm currently in the process of setting up a makeshift fiddle yard. Just a single piece of track that I can, connect and disconnect as required. Now the main change has been in this section here. As you can see, I've re-glued this section of foam down, and no progress has been made on the branch at all. The rails are ready, the sleepers are in position, but I have no chairs to be able to configure it. I still have the PG tips box here, just as I've cut it to the same size as the scale model Scenics Robertson warehouse, which is a kit that I'm very keen on looking into being this side of things, and introducing it into this sort of area, but I have to do a little bit more digging as to how I want to scenic this, but we will see. I'm more thinking now that I will display some kiln-esque kind of thing on this side, and then have warehouse buildings on this side to break up that branch line-esque bit. so that from certain angles you won't see it going off scene, as with this building here. Now before I get into this, I will just say, so I've had to get under the layout, and I'll go over that in a second. So I've moved this chest of drawers out, and actually it's been very handy. You can see I'm using it to store pieces of paperwork and different kinds of kits. So beforehand I mentioned I picked up some Meso kits, etched brass chairs, 2-bolt chairs for Great Western Railway turnouts. There we go. And I divvied them up into packs for which turnouts, and I've got a few left to make up. But I ran out of chairs. I'll go into that in a few moments. Here we have a selection of the turnout servo motor holders and racks. Another friend of mine is currently printing some more, and I'm just using this for general storage, just off the layout. So on to the main attraction. So I have finished turnout 1 and turnout 2. Will be numbered from left to right, so this will be turnout from right to left, sorry, because it's going into a yard. So technically this is turnout number 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 6 and this is 5, and that's what they'll be numbered in the system and on fascia. Right now, let me take you underneath. We have orange for the V crossing, and both the black wires and red wires are set up for track power, black to the back, red to the front. This is just, temporary, just to do some testing. I'll set up bus wires and everything later on. As you can see, in between I do have a hole set up to run the bus wires through. So once I have everything specifically tested and dropped, I will change that. As you can see, I've also drilled the holes for droppers for the other sections of track, and that will be done probably this weekend, so in the December update. You can get a nice shot there of the small gap that I've had to create for the incline. It's actually a cool feature. And we have a guest. Hello, guest. But yeah, so my bodge wiring job that goes all the way over to, this isn't usually on a book, trust me. It's usually up here, and as you can see, that goes over to my test bench area where I have a DC controller on a 12 volt 2 amp supply. I will be changing it for a 19 volt supply as soon as I can get one. And then I have my DCC-EX without Wi-Fi setup here as well, with my USB cable to connect to the computer, so I can do testing there. Anyway, so what's next? So the next step, and I'll take you in a bit closer. As you can see, I've already drilled the holes. None of this is glued down. Is to create the tie bars, the tie bar mechanism, and fully drill out the throw bar sections here. And for this turnout, and then give it a good clean and run it in. I have had all of my locomotives running on DC and DCC. There's a few hiccups with the older Saint and the 2800 class, but I believe that's because they're old tooling with older, wider flanges. And my gauging isn't absolutely perfect. It's something I want to pick up in future turnouts. But yeah, so the next stage is to get these motorized and get the droppers in for the rest. Now, one question that you may have is, so how am I connecting these? Am I using fish plates? Well, the answer is yes. Let me zoom in here, if it's going to focus. It's not going to focus. Okay, there we go. So, probably can't see that for sure. Let me illuminate. There we go. Sorry about this. So you can see that I've got 3D printed fish plates. And what I will do is I will secure them to one side. And then when this will be between each section for block detection and isolation purposes. So this does create a nice isolated block. These need to be pushed together, of course. But the idea is that that will provide the isolation I need. And there we have it. So with some luck, before I go away, before I go home, should we say, in December, we should have some trains running. Yeah, as I said, so I've already done the dropper wires for this section. I need to do the dropper wires for this section. I will probably do that on Friday this weekend. And yeah, maybe before Christmas you guys will see some trains actually running on this layout. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Hi everybody, I'm back. So today is the last day of November, and I won't be able to get anything else done tomorrow as I'm out all evening. However, I have finished the droppers for these two sidings and these two turnouts, and I've done some test runs, and everything seems to be fine. I'm having a little bit of issue with this V crossing. I believe it's a tightness gap is causing a short, but I will be taking that apart and resoldering everything up anyway, just to check the electrical continuity. But so far so good. The next step will be during December, before I go away, as I said, to figure out the tie bar mechanism and switching points. But other than that, everything's going well. What I'll do is I'll leave you guys with some footage of the Earl and the baby pannier going back and forth. Might stall on the turnouts, but you know, better to get something done and have something there rather than, you know, end off on nothing. But we're getting closer and closer and closer to having a working layout. With some luck, when I come back from the UK, we will have maybe some new purchases and the rest of the materials needed to complete the rest of the track work, and some more exciting things coming up in the near future. So I'll say now, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for those that have subscribed to the channel. It really gives me some motivation. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you want to keep an eye on this project. Like the video and leave any comments that you have, you know, constructive or otherwise. I read every single one of them, and you know, I would rather have feedback than not. So anyway, I'm rambling on. Thank you very much again. I'll talk to you in the next update video, and I'll leave you with a few trains running back and forth. Thank you very much. So I hope you enjoyed the update that we've just had. Making some good progress. Definitely got my mojo back. It's now just about finding the time to be able to, you know, get these modelling bits in. And I'm starting to reflect on some bits that I've done, things that I need to change. And one of the major things that I need to change. So I use these triangle gauges for keeping the rails the right distance apart, the right gauge. They're triangular gauges. but also for things like the check rails and the wing rails, I was doing it mainly by eye and a thin piece of plywood. But I'm going to invest in some check rail gauges, which are specifically designed so that it should provide that gap, and it will probably allow for better transition. Also, I am going to adapt how I do the frog. These work, they work okay. I've got locomotives running over them. It's not really an issue. There's a slight height imbalance, but that's about it. But moving forward, I will have a slightly different way of completing the frog for the rest of the turnouts. It's very possible I will redo these two anyway. It's not probably it's very unlikely that these will get glued down before the end of January, because it needs to be tested. But what I can do is I will be setting up the tie bar mechanism, setting up the servo mounts, and with some luck I will get some I'll be able to sort at least one of the turnouts, maybe both of them, before I go away. If not, when I come back very quickly, I'll pick up some more materials and things while I'm away. So yeah, I just want to thank you all again for sticking around and joining me on this journey. We should have another episode of Literary Corner coming up soon, and I've got 1 or 2 videos ad hoc to these updates that I want to create, and just start updating my portfolio. Start giving my opinion on things. I've been sat in the background of the hobby for the last 10 years. I've still been reading. I've still been looking up on things. I haven't owned anything, and now that I've been back for about 2 years now, I've started owning a few bits. I've started talking to the community, reading up on forums, things like that. I've had some good purchases, some bad purchases, good experiences, bad experiences, things like that. I'm starting to be able to develop my own opinion, which aligns with some people's, might not align with other people's, and so on. So I want to start trying to convey that as well, because I think it's better for people to have their opinions out there, so that when you want to make a purchase or something, fully visible of seeing what other people are getting out of it. That's and also it's part of the hobby as well. Not only do I enjoy doing the actual modeling side of things, I actually enjoy doing the video side of things, and I want to get better at that as well. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, lots of exciting stuff coming up. We've got some 3D printing to talk about, resin and FDM printing to discuss. We've got some more track planning to do in the next few months as well. Yes, I'm already thinking about the next layout. Don't tell the wife. And we've got 1 or 2 purchases as well that have been made. So we'll see that when we get there. So again, I want to say thank you very much. And here is some back and forth on the 2 sidings, the 1 siding that's actually working, because I can only go in one direction through the turnouts a specific direction onto 1 siding. So enjoy watching the pannier, one of the panniers, and the Duke dog going back and forth a little bit. Cheers. So here we have the 57XX pannier 7788 from Bachmann with an 8-pin decoder, a lock pilot 3, I believe. This is set up at the moment to a scale speed maximum of 50 mile an hour at speed step 100 or 128, should I say, so max. And this is speed step 10, so it needs a little bit of work, but eventually it will get a newer decoder, probably a V5, maybe a lock sound. It depends on other things. However, it might get replaced soon enough. so far I don't have the turnouts actually set up, so it's just set in to go in and out. So I'm going to put this down to about 5, which is probably a typical shunting speed, just to see how well it does over the common crossings. And it got over the one I was worried about, so this was the one that gave me the most trouble, but you can see that's fairly consistent and fairly smooth. Send it back. It's nice to have locos running. You know, I can imagine sitting here on an evening doing a bit of shunting, having the daughter with me. Yeah, look at that. Even in reverse, this is speed step 5 of 126, sorry. So we're going to stop that, and then I'll get the Earl on and we'll have a look at that. So this is the Bachmann Earl. I believe it's got a standard decoder that it came with, as it was pretty much brand new in the box, even though I got it second hand from deceased estate. This is as slow as I can get it, and it's not even that smooth. 20 is probably smoother. So 20 is probably the lowest that I will run this at the moment until I replace the decoder. Again, with the lock sound, probably sound far, but you can see relatively smooth. This is speed step 20, and I believe this is set to 70 top speed. But yeah, it does enjoy a good run. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this on a few reels. Let's put this up a little bit more. I've set up realistic slowdown, speed up, and so on as well. It's a really nice locomotive. I think this would sound even nicer having sound on it.